Welcome everyone. This practice is designed to gently re-energize you while also helping you to relax and let go of tension. So we're not going to be doing any standing movements today, but rather we're going to just be flowing gently in the postures that we are taking. This means you don't need a huge amount of equipment. You might like a block to sit up on or cushion to sit up on, maybe a folded blanket if you like to have some support underneath your knees for when we come to kneeling, and of course anything that you would like to have for Shavasana. So let's begin by coming to sit in a comfortable seated position. Bring a little bit of length through to the spine so you feel your breastbone lifting, and check that you're not pushing the rib cage forward, so the front of the ribs should stay nice and soft. You can allow your eyes to close, or if you prefer to keep them open, just don't look directly at your screen because it can make the eyes harden. So just look down, otherwise eyes closed. And let's take a few moments just to come and sit. Coming into the breath, gradually lengthening the breath. And just tuning in with yourself today. Checking in with how you're feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally. Just reflecting on how your energy levels are, the time of day that you're practicing. And as you continue to breathe here, perhaps you have an intention for your practice, so a reason for practicing today at this moment. Maybe just to open up your body, to relax a little, to calm down, to become more centered, whatever the reason might be. Maybe you're not sure, maybe there's no specific reason, you're just here to practice yoga, and that's also welcome. Check the posture, check you're still sitting tall through your spine. Allow any intention just to sink through your being. And then softly allow the eyes to open. And let's begin with a few arm circles. So as you inhale, circling the arms wide, palms meet. And then as you exhale, take your elbows wide and just release the breath. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Let's take that 2 more times. Inhale, feel that you're pushing the air up towards the ceiling. Gaze up. Exhale, gazing ahead, and squeeze the shoulder blades behind the back. Elbows going wide. Once more. And then letting your hands come down towards the floor. Fingertips resting on the floor beside you. As you let that right hip just drop gently towards the right shoulder. From here, you're going to let your chin bow towards your chest, and then softly take your chin towards the ceiling. And we're just going to do a few of these. So just nice, soft movements. They don't have to be big movements. You're just feeling into the left side of the neck. Let your eyes stay really soft. Let your eyes move with you. And then we'll take one more round. And then make sure your ear is in line with your shoulders. You carefully bring your head back to center. Take a moment just to observe the difference in the 2 sides of the neck. And then on your next exhale, let the left ear drop towards the left shoulder. This side might feel quite different. So when you're ready, letting your chin move towards your chest. And then lifting the chin towards the ceiling. And again, just taking these movements slow and steady. So feeling into the right side of the neck. This, of course, is an area that can hold a lot of tension, particularly if we spend a lot of time looking at a screen, a lot of time driving, or perhaps this is just an area we tend to hold our tension, this neck, throat, jaw region. It can sometimes be the case if we're having problems speaking up for ourselves, problems communicating or expressing ourselves. So we'll just take one more round. Until your head comes back through to center, and then bring the head all the way up. We're going to bring the hands onto the legs now and come into some seated cat-cows. So when you're ready, as you inhale, you're going to arch your spine forward. So the belly moves forward, the chest moves up. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, pull your navel in. Feel your tailbone moving forward as you round through the upper back. And your chin drops towards your chest. We're going to take a few more like this. So we're just waking up the spine, waking up the muscles either side of the spine, and just working with engaging the muscles at the front of the body and also the back of the body. So as you inhale and come forward, the muscles either side of the spine are shortening and contracting. The muscles at the front of the body are lengthening and stretching. And then as you exhale, the opposite is true, stretching the muscles at the side of the spine, pulling your navel in to ensure that you're engaging through the abdominal wall. So quite a simple movement, but good for both strength and flexibility. And these movements can be quite big or small, they can be faster or slower. Generally, I think it's good just to slow things down. If you have been a bit stuck in your head, which, let's be honest, lots of us are throughout the day, and it can be nice just to slow down and just, explore feeling your body, feeling this movement. And we'll take one more round. Until you come all the way back up to center. We're going to change the cross of the legs now. And once again, bring the fingertips onto the floor, either side of us. So starting here by lifting that left hand off the floor and pointing your fingers up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to let your ear drop to the shoulder and let the fingers point down. And then again, inhale, return the head to center, fingers point up. Exhale, drop ear to shoulder, fingers point down. And just take a few of these. Inhale, fingers point up. Exhale, fingers point down as the ear drops to the shoulder. And again, it doesn't have to be a big movement. It's not like your ear is trying to touch your shoulder. It's just we're letting the head move in that direction so we can stretch this right side of the neck. You might close your eyes just to feel into the movement a bit more. Inhaling, head comes to center, fingers pointing up. Exhaling, ear to shoulders, fingers point down. Let's just take a few more. So we're just looking for a gentle stretch, nothing too extreme. And we'll take one more round. So another inhale and exhale in your own time. And then as you come back to center, you're going to keep that right hand hovering off the floor. Imagine that you're holding a jam jar lid with this right hand. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're trying to open that lid. So you're twisting in a clockwise direction, and then you're going to turn your gaze towards the left as you do. So that's on the exhale. And then as you inhale, come back to center, looking ahead, bringing the hand back to neutral. As you exhale, twisting open that jam jar, turning to look towards the left. Inhale, back to center. And again, just taking a few of these, doesn't have to be big. You can explore, as you exhale, really twisting that jam jar lid so you can really start to get that rotation all the way up through the shoulder if you like, just by letting your hand continue to turn as far as you want it to turn, or you can keep it quite small. And let's just continue. Let your eyes travel with you. Again, you're very welcome to close your eyes. Perhaps just taking two more. And then as you come back to center, just let that right hand rest down. Just take a moment to pause. Notice the difference between the two sides of the neck. Hopefully this right side of the neck feels longer. This right shoulder might feel lower down. And then of course we'll balance out both sides. So let's bring that left hand up, fingers point up towards the ceiling as you take a breath in. As you breathe out, right ear to right shoulder, fingers point down. Inhale, fingers point up, head back to center. Exhale, fingers point down, ear to shoulder. And just continue in your own time. But depending on how your neck feels, for some of you this will feel quite a strong stretch, for others of you might be more soft. Again, we're not always looking for really obvious sensation in yoga. In fact, the more yoga we do, sometimes the more subtle it gets. So we become a bit more sensitive. Exhaling, ear to shoulder, fingers pointing down. Inhaling, fingers pointing up, head back to center. We'll take one more round. And then as you come back to center, just hovering that left hand away from the mat, holding that imaginary jam jar lid, taking that breath in, and as you breathe out this time the hand turns anti-clockwise as your gaze turns towards the right. And then use that inhale to come back to center. And just do a few more of these, exhaling, turning that imaginary jam jar lids, turning the chin. Inhale, everything returns to center, that starting position. The more you can soften the eyes here, the more benefit that you will get, which is why sometimes closing the eyes is helpful. Remember, it doesn't have to be a big movement, particularly the way you turn your head. It doesn't have to be a deep turn. You can increase that rotation through that left arm if you wish. So that as you open that jam jar, you start to feel the movement up in the shoulder. Maybe just a couple more. as you prepare just to finish the one that you're on, we'll come back to center again. Just let both hands relax. Eyes can be opened or closed. Just notice, hopefully there's a lot more length in the sides of the neck now. Hopefully that feels really good. And we're going to inhale, bring the hands up overhead once again, and this time interlink the hands above your head, and then bring them behind your head, so somewhere towards the base of the skull. We're coming back to cat-cow movement. We're going to keep the arms in this position. So as you inhale, you're lengthening through the front of the body, shortening the back body. Take your elbows back, let your head press a little bit back into your hands. And then as you exhale, rounding the spine. Draw the navel in, let the elbows move towards one another, and you've got just that sense of lifting the base of the skull up from the neck. So as you inhale, lifting and lengthening the front body, opening the heart space, opening the elbows wide, and then as you exhale, closing in a little bit, elbows together, round through the upper back, navel drawing in. And just take a few more of these. So you're not putting excess weight onto your head. I just want to be clear about that. As you come forward, it's just that sense of using your thumbs to lightly lift the base of the skull up. It's a very soft movement. If you're not enjoying this with the arms over your head, you can just return the hands to the legs, just like we did the first time round. And again, just enjoying a few more of these. And then when you're ready, come back to center. So with that upright spine, inhale, keep the hands interlinked, bring them up over your head, turn the palms to face up. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, let the hands come down, palms facing forward, palms face towards you, and then relax the hands. Coming onto your hands and knees now. So this is where some of you might like to have a blanket just for extra support for the knees. It's totally optional, of course. Why not though? Look after your knees. And then as we come to this all fours position, we're going to come back to those cat-cow movements, exactly what we were doing seated. So knees are more or less above the hips, wrists are more or less beneath the shoulders, perhaps slightly wider, fingers spread wide. Let's take a breath in to prepare. And then as you breathe out, round through the spine. So remember, draw the navel in, try and stretch the muscles either side of your spine. And then as you inhale, you come back to that flat back. Lift the tailbone, pull the shoulders down, lift the gaze. And just continue in this way. Shoulders away from the ears. Navel drawing in on the exhale. And then the next time that you exhale and round your spine, keep the spine rounded as you sink back into a child's pose. But be a bit active with your arms. So don't let your arms flop down. Keep the elbows lifted. You can come onto the fingertips here. Pull the shoulders from the ears and just take a few breaths. Nice, soft, easy breath. You can bring your head to the floor if you like, but just keep those arms extending forward so you're getting some length through the arms, through the armpits. And then when you're ready, push yourself back up to your hands and knees. If your knees have gone wide, bring them underneath the hips once again. And let's come into some circling cat-cows here. So it's very similar to what we were doing just now, but we're also going from side to side. So as well as stretching through the spine and the front and back body, we're also now stretching through the side body. So you've still got that action of arching the spine and rounding the spine, just like we were doing before, but also going in a circular motion. And of course you can change direction of those circles. This is such a nice way to create space for your breath. And then when you are ready, coming back to center, and again, just thinking back to that active child's pose. These can be together or wider apart here. We're going to extend the arms forward whilst pulling the shoulder blades down away from the ears. So you're gazing down towards the floor. See if you inhale, if you can walk your fingers forward a little. And as you exhale, just let your body soften down towards the mat. You can do that a couple of times. Inhale, creeping the hands forward. Exhale, allowing your torso to sink towards the floor. And then use your inhale. Come back up to all fours. Replace your wrists and your knees. And then we're going to do some big circles just with the hips here. So of course your shoulders will be moving as well, but focus really on that movement through the hips. So your hips are drawing big circles around your knees. You might even be taking your hips all the way back towards your heels. A little bit as you would in a child's pose, but of course not coming to child's pose, but just continuing to circle. And you can change direction of these circles. And then coming back through to center one more time, come into a child's pose. This time you can just let your arms relax. So whether the arms are relaxing in front or down by the feet is up to you. Taking a few breaths. And then once again, arms out in front, push yourself up onto your hands and knees. We're coming into a thread the needle posture here. So starting with that right arm, inhale, reach the right arm up. Now just go steady here, particularly if you're having any problems with your neck. Don't feel that you have to come into a really open twist. Just stay comfortable. And as you exhale, thread that right arm under the left. Ear moves towards the floor, but not touching the floor because we're going to come straight back out again. Inhale, right fingers to ceiling, looking up if you can. Exhale, thread the right arm under the left. So the left elbow may be bending slightly here. And again, so we want to feel this movement through the upper back. Opening up through the heart space. We'll take one more. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, bring that hand to the floor. Inhale, the left arm goes up to the ceiling. Exhale, threading that left arm under the right. So your right elbow can bend a little. And then inhale, bringing the arm back up. So again, the movement is coming from the upper body. So feel that your heart space is twisting and opening. You can follow the fingertips with your eyes if that suits your neck. Inhale, let the fingers reach up, and then exhale, bring that left hand to the floor. Extend back with your right leg now, tuck the toes under. You can either stay here, or you can explore bringing that left arm up. Keep the toes on the floor for now and really press back into that heel so you're activating through that right leg. Hugging the hips in, hugging the shoulders in, drawing the belly button in. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring that left hand to the floor, right knee to the floor. Extend back through that left leg. Toes tuck under, right arm reaches up. So we're keeping the feet on the floor today so that we can really get the stabilization through the pelvis. But you're still nice and active, so pressing those right fingertips into the floor, extending through your lifted arm, pressing back through that back heel. And then use the exhale, bring the hand down, then the knee, and then lift yourself up all the way to a high kneeling position. I'm going to turn just so that I'm facing you. You can keep some support under the knees here, and then bring the right arm out to the side, bending the right leg so it's at a right angle, and then bring your left arm out in line with your shoulder. Turn the palm of the left hand to face up. Inhale, extend the arm up. And as you exhale, reach over to the right. So you can rest your right elbow onto the thigh here. You're welcome to turn your chin towards the left armpit if that's more comfortable for you. Alternatively, just look straight ahead. Try and make sure this knee doesn't drop in. The knee stays above ankle. So there's that sense of reaching up and over through the left waist. Find your breath. Maybe going a little further on your next exhale. And then use that inhale, draw yourself back to center. Carefully walk that right foot in. Bring the right knee back to the floor. And take the left leg out to the side. So knee in line with hip, knee above heel. Inhale, right arm in line with shoulder. On the next inhale, that palm faces up. And we stretch the arm up as we take that inhale. And then exhale, coming over to the side stretch. Finding that comfortable position to hold the head. Let your eyes soften. Breathe. So remember, it's not just about the side stretch, but it's also about lifting. And it's as though you're really lifting from this right hip. Getting more space through your ribs, through your waist. Keeping that left leg stable, knee above ankle. Maybe on your next exhale, stretching that a little bit further. And then inhaling, coming all the way up, carefully walking that left leg back in so you come back to your high kneeling position. Bring your hands to the floor, keeping your hips above your knees. Walk your hands forward, sometimes called puppy dog pose or Anhatstasana, surrendering the heart to the earth. So we're really looking to keep the hips above the knees. Pressing a little bit into those fingertips. And you can either stay here, you can come to child's pose, or you can come back to your hands and knees and then come into a full downward facing dog. So I'll leave that up to you at this particular practice. What suits you. Down dog, you're welcome to walk the legs out a little bit. Remember to keep a little bend in the knees in down dog so that you can really get the benefit of the stretch through the spine.
And then when you're ready, we'll all meet in child's pose. So whatever position you've been in, we're going to come into the child's pose now. So find your way there. You can move the blanket off to the side if it's no longer serving you. Come back into your child's pose. Totally relax here, so no need to extend the arms. So the closer together you have your knees in the child's pose, the more that you'll be stretching through the lumbar spine. The wider apart they have the knees, the more the lumbar spine is flattened, so there's less of a stretch. But some people enjoy a stretch more for the sacrum, and also can just be more comfortable for the belly and the thighs. So take what suits you best. We'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. And then once again, we're going to come back up to that high kneeling position. So blanket might come in handy as you come back to high kneeling and returning that right leg out to the side. But this time we're going to have the legs straight. So the toes can turn outward or turn forward. I want you to choose what's most comfortable for your pelvis. As you inhale, let both arms float up. As you exhale, pull the shoulders away from the ears. On the next inhale, reach over towards that right leg and let the right hand come down as the left arm reaches up. Now keep this right arm nice and light. Inhale, let's just pause here with the arm extending to the ceiling. You can even look up towards the thumb. Keep your eyes nice and soft. Feel that you're getting longer and longer through that left side body. And then on your exhale, you're going to stretch that arm alongside the ear. Focus the gaze, but keep the eyes soft. Soften the breath. And use your inhale, come back to center, come all the way up. And as you exhale, relax the arms down by your side and then carefully bring the hands forward. So this is a bit like a downward facing dog. So you're going to extend the arms forward, maybe a little bit wider than the shoulders, and let your heart surrender towards the floor. Keeping the legs in the same position as they were. It can be useful to stay on the fingertips here, just to keep that engagement through the arms. Externally rotating your upper arm as if your armpits wanted to look at each other. And then carefully walk the hands closer towards you. Bring that right leg in, so you're in a all fours position, and then take that left leg out. Walk the hands in towards you, come up into this Parigasana gate pose posture. Inhale, float your arms up to try and keep the shoulders soft as you do this. Exhale, pull the shoulders down. As you inhale, reach towards the left, let the left hand come down and right arm floats up again. Just pausing here, working with the length. Keep both shoulders moving down away from the ears. Keep pressing into the little toe side of this left foot. As you inhale, can you reach a little higher to the ceiling? Exhale, soften in the posture. Soften the gaze. So either looking up towards the thumb or looking straight ahead or somewhere in between. Breathe. And then use your inhale, reach the hands up a little higher. Exhale, extend that right arm towards the left. Full breath here. And then use your inhale, come back to center. Relax the arm. And as you come forward, just coming back into that downward dog-like posture. So make sure your hands are at least as wide as your shoulders, if not wider. On the fingertips for greater support. Letting your heart sink towards the floor. Staying nice and active through that extended left leg. Breathing here. And then use your inhale, bring your hands back closer towards you. Bring that left leg in. Come back to all fours position with the knees underneath the hips. Come back to a cat-cow of your choice. So you might come back to this arching and rounding. The full body circling. Or the big hip circles. Or maybe even a little bit of all three. Whatever you're doing, just enjoy it. Feeling a little bit more freedom in your body, hopefully. A little bit more relaxed in your mind. If anybody would like to take her downward facing dog or child's pose, you can. And then we're going to come into a seated position. So take your time to get there. Take whatever you need to sit on. A folded blanket could work, or a yoga block, or a cushion. And we're bringing the soles of the feet together, knees wide in Baddha Konasana, or cobbler pose. Let your hands rest softly onto the legs. And as you inhale, begin to draw circles with your torso, coming forward and then rounding back. If you experience discomfort sitting in this posture, sometimes it's helpful just to have some blankets or cushions underneath the thighs. You can always just come and sit cross-legged as well, if that's better for you. The feet don't have to be particularly close to the groin, just a comfortable distance. And we're just getting that sensation of the whole spine moving, rocking into the pelvis, rolling across the sitting bones. And when you're ready, you can just pause those circles and then take them back in the other direction. Again, eyes can be closed here if you prefer. And then making your way back to center. So those circles, if they've been quite big, might just start to become smaller first of all, until you find yourself back in that center position, using your breath in to sit up tall. And then as you breathe out, beginning to just fold forward. So if anyone's got any problems with their lower back, just be mindful about how far forward you go. And you might prefer either not to come forward at all, but stay sitting upright, or just to come forward with a fairly straight spine, which is what I'm doing now. So the head stays lifted. If anyone wants to go a little bit deeper and explore rounding and deeply stretching the spine, then you can let your head drop towards the floor. So just see what suits you best today. Don't think that having your head lower to the floor is necessarily better, it's just different. When you're completely relaxing and dropping your head, you're stretching the muscles around your spine. If you're keeping your head lightly lifted, you're engaging them, contracting them, strengthening them. So it's really what you feel your body needs. Either way, the hips are beginning to open, the glutes are stretching the piriformis muscle. We'll just take a few more breaths. Again, it can be nice to close the eyes here for that sense of just going inwards. And just staying present to how your body feels, how the sensation changes as your muscles begin to stretch and release. And then nice and slowly, use your inhale, come all the way up to sit. We're going to straighten the left leg out now, the right leg out. So the left foot can come in towards that right thigh. If your knee is quite high off the floor, it's not a problem, but you might feel more comfortable with some support underneath the thigh. Fingertips either side of the straight leg. Use your breath in, lengthen. As you breathe out, start to come forward. So you can let your hands walk forward, but try not to round the shoulders. Let your whole body move forward. And then as you inhale, just back off a little bit. So you're just pulsing out of the posture and then pulsing back in as you exhale. And we're going to take just a few of these. So again, doesn't have to be big. You're not trying to get anywhere. This is not about, trying to hold on to your foot or anything like that. But just simply gently stretching through those lower back muscles. Of course, also through the back right leg. Taking 2 more in your own time. And then coming all the way up to sitting, keeping the legs in the same position, shoulders over the hips now. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, take a gentle twist towards that left-hand side. So these left fingertips can come just somewhere to the floor behind you, perhaps in diagonal to your back hip. And your right hand can rest wherever's comfortable. Breathing in, lengthen through your spine. As you breathe out, turn your chest a little bit more to the left. So really be conscious of your chest turning. Don't just turn your head forward and backwards. We've already done enough for the neck today. And then inhale, come back to center. Think about this breastbone moving. As you exhale, turning the breastbone a little bit to the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Take a few more. Exhale to twist. Inhale to come back to center. So it's the upper body that is moving predominantly. You can explore keeping your chin in line with your breastbone. That will help you to understand if you ever do a twist mostly with your neck. It's quite easy for us just to turn the head to look over that back shoulder. It's not really what we're trying to do, but just pulsing in and out of the twist, getting that upper body moving. Let's take one more. And then come back to center, facing forward once again. Release that left leg out in front. Bring that right leg in. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, coming forward. So again, you can walk your hand forward, but make sure it's not just your hand. You want to be moving from your hips. And we're coming back to that pulsing. So you can inhale back off the forward bend a little bit, and then exhale, come back in. And just repeating in this way. Eyes opened or closed. If they're open, keeping them really soft. Just noticing how your body responds to this. Perhaps feeling it in the lower back. Maybe the back of this straight leg. Maybe for some of you also noticing sensation around this right hip. And just moving in the rhythm of your breath. A little bit like a leaf floating down a river, just being carried. And just one more of these. Until you come back up to sitting. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, taking that twist towards the right, finding comfortable places for the hands to rest. Breathing in, breathing out, explore turning the chest just a little bit more to the right. Inhale to center. So as you exhale and twist, remember upper back is moving, chest is moving, not overturning the head or the neck. So it's likely you're only moving centimeters, if that, it might be millimeters. So we're not looking for big fancy movements here, but we are just trying to engage the correct muscle. So the upper back generally can be a bit stiffer than the lower back. The lower back has more mobility, it has more flexibility. So in yoga, it's quite easy just to abuse that flexibility of the lower back, whereas actually we get more benefit sometimes just from working into that upper back. And of course, as we explore, just exploring this upper back region, we're working into the rib cage, the home of the diaphragm muscle. And just releasing any tension that might be in those intercostal muscles and in the diaphragm muscle that might be restricting the breath. So just taking two more. Twisting on the exhale, releasing on the inhale. And then coming back through to center. Bring that right leg out in front of you. Take the legs wide apart now. So you can go quite wide or not so wide, but make sure that you're at least wider than your hips. If you're not sitting on something, then I really recommend you sit on something at this point. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, walk the hands forward. So we're just going to hold here for a few breaths. If you enjoy the pulsing, you can take that pulsing action again, but keep it quite small. Again, if you've got that lower back issues, don't be aggressive in this posture. Again, lower back issues, sometimes it's best just to sit up tall. You're working with strengthening the muscles of your back here. Depends really what the lower back issue is, but you know, for the purpose of this online class, just listen to your body and be kind to yourself. Take a few more breaths. See if you can let the legs really just sink towards the floor. And then slowly come all the way back up. Bring that left hand onto the hip, right hand onto the thigh. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, slide that right hand down towards the leg and just come into a gentle side stretch. So stretching through this left side of the body, but also a small twist. So just slightly turning and opening through the chest. So this collarbone is broad, elbow pointing back, holding the head wherever is comfortable. Breathing here. Slowing down the breath, relaxing the toes. 2 more breaths. If your head starts to ache, just look straight ahead or even look down. And then use your inhale to slowly come up. Left hand resting on the left thigh, right hand on the hip. Pull the elbow towards behind you. Take a breath in. Breathing out, sliding the hand towards the foot. Finding that comfortable place to hold the head. Soft, slow breath. Again, the option to close the eyes and go inward is always there. If you close your eyes and you tend to float off into a daydream, then keep your eyes open. Please stay connected to the environment, connected with your body. For some people, closing the eyes helps them to feel the body more. And for others, the opposite is true. So again, just see what works best for you. Remember, we're connecting with our body and our breath in yoga. We've got a few more breaths here. One more breath. Use your inhale, slowly come all the way up. Let your legs come towards one another. Come off anything that you're sitting on. Come to lie flat onto your back with your legs bent, feet about hip distance apart, no cushion under your head. So as you come down towards the floor, chin drawing towards your chest, inhale, press down into your feet, squeeze your buttocks and start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So we're engaging through the muscles of the legs here. So you want to feel that your feet are pressing into the floor and you're squeezing your buttocks. Now breathe into the front of your body. And as you exhale, lower your buttocks to the floor, but just don't quite touch the floor. And then inhale, come back up. So as you exhale and lower, you can relax the buttocks. But then you're going to inhale. Again, press with the feet and squeeze the buttocks up. There's a little bit of relaxation on the exhale through the glutes, but then that engagement again through the feet, the legs, and the glutes on the inhale. Taking a few more of these. So as you exhale, lowering almost to the mat, but not quite. And just one more. And then this time, make sure that you completely relax all the way to the floor. Let your feet relax, let your legs relax. And then bring both of the knees towards the chest and have a little rock and roll from side to side. Now, I'm not going to stay here. Not that great for me at this stage. But you can just stay rocking and rolling in any way that feels good. Just enjoy some massage for your lower back. Knees can be together or wider apart. And then once you feel that you've given yourself that massage onto the floor, then begin to set up for Shavasana. So take anything that you need so that you can lie in a restful position. So that might be some support under your head, just to allow the chin to drop towards the chest slightly. Some support under the backs of the knees to help your lower back to settle. Of course, anything you need to be warm, perhaps an eye pillow or a scarf to cover your eyes. And then just allowing yourself to surrender to the effortlessness of Shavasana. And so with the eyes closed and the attention drawing in, really have that sense of coming to the end of your practice, perhaps coming to what's sometimes called the most important part of the practice, which perhaps is especially true for you if you are exhausted, if you are on the go all the time, if you find it hard to give yourself permission just to rest and relax. And really enjoy this opportunity here. If there's any sounds around you, just let them drift and float. Allowing everything to become a little bit heavier. And then entering into some silence here.
Now feel free to stay resting for longer if you like. Otherwise, just prepare to move once again. Maybe start with some small gentle movement in your fingers and toes, working up through ankles and wrists, stretching through your arms, your legs. You might find you want to sigh, swallow or yawn. Be gentle when you choose to reopen your eyes to the light. And when you feel ready, come and rest onto one side, supporting your head with your arm or cushion. And then make your way up to sit. Sit however is comfortable for you. Bring your hands together at your heart. I invite and encourage you to join me for the chant of Om to close the practice. So taking a breath in. Breathing in, lifting your breastbone to your thumbs. Breathing out, bowing your head to your heart. In gratitude for these practices which have been so carefully passed down to us. And we will end there. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this gentle flow practice, everyone. I hope that you're feeling a bit more relaxed and a bit more quietly re-energized. Come back to this practice whenever you want. It can be done in the morning, it can be done in the evening. It's a very flexible practice, so just choose whenever would suit you. And I hope that you are able to enjoy this and all the other practices in the future. Thank you. Namaste.